Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Buffalo Music Mafia. My name is Thomas,
And I'm Joe.
and today we have a special guest. We have Joe Pascarell of the group The Machine, who does a Pink Floyd tribute. Joe, you're going to be playing at the Batavia Downs Summer Concert Series this Friday. Welcome to our show, and we're very excited that you're coming to town.
Well, thank you for having me, and we are very excited to come to your town. We've had many, many enjoyable shows up in that area of the world, so we're excited to come back.
Yeah, you've played in Art Park in Lewiston, which is kind of close. And you've had some, like you said, some amazing shows. I've watched some of the videos from some of those shows, and you guys jam-packed the arena. Tell us briefly about some of those shows that you had at Art Park.
Well, it's funny, the first time, I remember the first one specifically because I had no idea what the venue was like. I kind of make a point of not finding too much about the venue. I like to be surprised. When I got there and I saw the expanse, and it was going to be outside and so huge, and then it was full of people. It was so exciting. Exactly the reason I don't try to find out too much, because I was surprised and happy, and we were so excited. And I think we must have played there at least 6 or 7 more times after that. And every show is just, oh, the energy was so much fun, so much fun. And this, you said it's close to that? It's
Well,
in the general
this,
area.
yeah, this is Batavia, New York. It's right in between Buffalo, New York, and Rochester, New York. And
Oh,
Lewiston
okay,
is past Buffalo, like past Niagara Falls,
gotcha.
actually. So yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of close. Yeah, within an hour or two.
Yeah, I know
It's
exactly where it is.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Have you played many shows post lockdown?
Uh, this will be our third one.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we are so amped. I'm amped anyway. When I'm doing 10 shows a month, I'm amped. So not having played for a year and a half, it's such a pleasure to be back. I can't even express. Hopefully we'll be able to express it by on Friday by playing how
For,
happy we are.
for sure, for sure.
All right. Well, I'd just like to real quick kind of bring people up to date. How did this all start with you guys? Take us back to the beginning real quick for a quick intro on how you became a Pink Floyd tribute and everything here.
Well, I think that most interesting part is it's maybe hard for younger people to realize, but there was a time when there wasn't a million tribute bands, which is when we started in the late 80s. Yes, I'm old. In the late 80s, there wasn't a tribute band, wasn't even a thing. So we just happened to be a band that played a lot of Pink Floyd, and an agent heard about us. And he suggested, why don't you guys play all Pink Floyd and we'll see what we could do like that. And that's how it started. So it was really organic in the sense we didn't sit down and said, we're going to be a Pink Floyd band. That's what we're going to. We just played Pink Floyd because we liked it. And then the band grew out of that. And then in the subsequent 30 some years, tribute bands have become a thing. I mean, there's a Pink Floyd tribute band in every state of the country. It's amazing. But the first 10, 15 years we did it, no one else was doing it. And I don't think it was called the tribute band even back then. We were just, I don't know what we are. I
Yeah.
don't
So
even
you
really like that word, to be honest with you. I'm not living in tribute to someone else. We just love playing their music.
Yeah, so you're real pioneers in the fact that you actually took like one band's music and kind of like almost, I mean, in listening to some of these performances, not only are your songs like really close, but you also put in some of your own like personality in the songs, here and there, which I find very interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting for us too, because it keeps it kind of fresh. It's hard to play the exact same thing every night. Like, I don't know any musician that really wants to do that. But I think one of the things that makes our band unique is we're able to inject a little something, like you say, without detracting from what the music is, in the spirit that maybe if Pink Floyd was doing it, this is what they would be doing.
Mhm.
And having done it, we've done over 2,300 shows. So, I mean, it feels like our music.
Yeah, and Pink Floyd probably has done just like a fraction of those shows in the time since 1988. I mean, they really haven't toured that much,
Right,
with the
right.
exception of a couple, major tours since then, but not many.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I mean, this last year and a half was the longest we've ever taken off in the last 30 years.
Hmm.
I mean,
Have
we
you
don't
ever
really.
Have you ever considered because there's many bands that don't have any like original members of the band in them, and they call themselves the name of the band. Have you ever considered just calling yourself Pink Floyd?
That's funny you should say. I remember early on, we were doing a show and I was being interviewed by a magazine. And they gave me it was some kind of snarky comment about being in a cover band or something. I said, you know what? When we play, you come and see us, there's 4 people that aren't in Pink Floyd playing Pink Floyd music. When you go see Pink Floyd, there's like 8 people that aren't in Pink Floyd playing Pink Floyd music. So what's the difference really? It's about the music, you know?
Absolutely.
And yeah, yeah, I'm aware there's a little stigma to being in a cover band, of course, but we genuinely love this music, and I hope that comes across when people see our band.
Yeah, and I also feel that, you know, you added a lot of unique things to it with the lasers and you know, the unique way you guys go about presenting a show. It's never the same show twice.
That's right, that's right, and that's something Pink Floyd never did. I mean, they play the same set every night, which is fine. They can do whatever they want, of course, but when you come and see us, you don't really know what song you're going to hear, you know, and we always try to do something from the first, second, or third album. So there's some for the real Pink Floyd nut, you know, a hardcore fan that thinks, they'll never play Bike, you know, they'll never play See Emily Play, but we do, you know. So yeah, that's one of the unique things. Thanks for mentioning that.
That's awesome to hear, because I recently, well, not recently, but a couple years ago, saw Nick Mason, and I was a little reluctant to go see the Nick Mason and the Saucerful of Secrets.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that too.
Yeah, and I was like, you know, I was apprehensive to go to that because of the fact that, you know, I wasn't really into Pink Floyd like pre Dark Side of the Moon, but I
Right.
started studying up on it, and now in retrospect, I mean, that's some of their best material.
Yeah, it's so interesting, that stuff, because it's not like the later Pink Floyd. It had sort of its own thing, and it's fun to play that music. I will say, I've been a Pink Floyd fan since I was 12 years old when my brother took me to see them in 1974, and on the Dark Side tour. So I've been a fan since then. But playing that early music is a lot of fun, more than listening to it even. It's the Syd Barrett music. It's so much fun to play. So you enjoyed that show, that Nick Mason
I
show?
thought it was fantastic. Yeah, I saw it at Shays in Buffalo, and just from like, you know, the moment I walked in, you know, they were playing like background, like, you know, music. I really felt like I went back in time to like
Yeah.
1969. It was incredible. Yeah, it was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, right on, right on.
And
Yeah.
you met Nick Mason, is that correct? I thought I saw
Yeah,
it on
well,
your.
I saw that show. I went with a friend of mine, this Mike Piera, who I don't know if you guys are guitar players, but he's on Analog Man, the pedal maker. I don't know if you ever heard of him,
No,
but
I
he
haven't.
took me, and we went backstage after and got to meet the whole band. So that, yeah, it was the first time I met anyone in Pink Floyd in the 30 years I've been doing this.
Wow.
Sweetheart of a guy, just real gentle, sweet, nice guy.
Yeah.
Now you had left a couple times during the tenure of the band. What
All
did
right.
you do during that time?
Yeah, I just left once.
Okay.
And, yeah, in 2012. Yeah, I think. Well, looking back, it's hard to say why I would have left, because I would never imagine leaving, you know. But I guess I was kind of burned out. You know, I just turned 50 years old, and I'm like, what else can I do with my life, you know, besides play the guitar and sing, which is all I really ever wanted to do. So I spent a year doing some other things. I was actually a trader, futures trader, which is something I wanted to do. And I was bored out of my mind inside of 6 months and regretting my decision. And then 2.5 years later, the guy that replaced me was leaving, and they asked me if I wanted to come back. And I said, hell yes, I want to come back. So now I'm back doing it, and I have a new appreciation for it, a new respect for it. I worked my whole life to build the band up to what it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad to be back.
Yeah.
Never should have.
Yeah, and as far as I mean, I know you mentioned that you don't like it to be called a tribute band, but I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, you probably are one of the most successful tribute bands in the world. I mean, how many tribute bands can play these huge arenas in front of, like, you know, 12,000 people?
Yeah, I mean, we are, because I think I'd like to think it's partially because we're good at what we do, but it's also we were one of the first bands to do it, and we haven't stopped doing it since 1988. You know, we haven't stopped. except for, with the obvious exception of last year, we haven't really stopped doing it, so. And that's something I think our band brings to the table too, is, you know, we have thousands of hours on stage together. And not a lot of live performing bands can say that, you know,
Right.
it's the place where I personally am the most comfortable in my life, on stage with the guitar. That's when I'm comfortable, so. I think that makes it interesting for people to listen to.
Yeah. So in a normal year, like how many shows do you guys usually average?
Well, I would say lately, let's say, what is this, 20? In the last 10 years, we've averaged about 80 shows a year.
Well,
For the first 20 years we did anywhere from 120 to 180 shows a year.
oh, wow.
Yeah, like that was
Huh.
pretty much nonstop on the, you know, we were in our 20s and 30s. We could stay awake for 3 days and drive for 3 days without a problem. So that's what we did for the first 20 years. But now it's 80 shows, 70, 80 shows a year is a lovely sweet spot.
Yeah. Is this the most production that you brought out for your shows? The ones that you're doing right now?
Well, usually what we do is we'll bring the amount of production that the venue will support, right? So it's a pretty big place, I think, up there.
It is, yeah.
That's why the lasers are coming. Like the lasers are at, you know, they're at 5, 6 shows a year only.
Oh,
Like they're too big to bring inside. So you know, so being that this is such a large venue, yeah, the production it'll be nice. That's part of what Pink Floyd is known for, right? I mean, they were multimedia before that word even existed.
Yeah. Not to give it away, but you're gonna have any flying pigs in the stadium?
That is one thing we made a conscious effort to not ever do. There's something, I know this is gonna sound so ridiculous because I'm in a cover band for a living, but it just seems cheesy to me. There's something about it. It just, I don't know. We're not Pink Floyd, you know?
Not yet.
We're playing Pink Floyd's music, but we're not them. So I don't know, that to me, that crosses the line a little bit.
Mhm.
So no, we haven't done that, but the lights and the lighting, the laser, the video, the round screen, that'll all be there.
oh, nice.
Well, it sounds like it's gonna be an amazing show. Do you have any last words to tell the fans that are gonna be coming down on Friday night?
Thank you for asking that. I do. I would like to say that I'm aware that cover bands have a stigma, but if that's what's keeping you from coming, don't let that keep you. Come and see. If you like Pink Floyd, come and see the Machine, and I guarantee you'll have a good time. I guarantee it, because we love the music as much as you do.
All right, sounds good, Joe.
All
Thank
right.
you very much for your time. We're looking
Oh,
forward to
thank
seeing the
you.
show.
And thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
right.
All right, you take it easy, Joe.
All right, take care.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.